Would you be surprised if one of your friends had thought about leaving the United States? You might think people only say it as a joke. But studies show that almost half of Americans have seriously considered it. I'm Rachel, and my husband and I are giving up our six-figure income to move abroad in just 44 days. For me, America changed around 2015. Now it feels like a different country. And this isn't only a problem for struggling families. Even people with good jobs and high incomes are leaving. They are selling their homes, packing up their pets, and moving to places like Italy, Spain, or Portugal. Why? Because they don't want to keep paying sky-high prices for housing, food, and healthcare. The so-called American dream is starting to look like an empty shopping cart. You work hard. You pay more. But you get less in return. So why are millions of Americans leaving? What are they seeing that others haven't noticed yet? In this video, we'll count down the top 5 reasons why America is no longer the place many people want to live. Have you noticed that the harder you work, the higher the bills get, but the less you can afford? This is the reality for millions of Americans every day. Work more. Earn more. But live less. Think about a simple trip to the market. You buy eggs, beef, and milk. It used to cost $20. Now it costs $35. That doesn't sound huge at first. But over a year it adds up to thousands of dollars. That money comes out of vacations, children's education, or retirement savings. Even families earning 6 figures in cities like Seattle are leaving. One family sold their home, took their 2 dogs, and moved to Italy just to have some peace. Money cannot buy freedom from stress when the cost of living keeps rising. The first reason people are leaving is the emotional and financial weight of city life. You pay for rent, healthcare, and insurance. But what you get in return is stress, traffic, and worry. Bills pile up and people feel trapped. The second reason is lifestyle pressure. In American cities, people feel forced to buy new cars, bigger homes, expensive schools, and fancy vacations. Middle-class families drown in debt. They tell themselves that everyone else is in the same boat. But when prices keep going up, many realize this lifestyle is not sustainable. For retirees, the choice is painful. Pay for medicine or cut costs on food and electricity. For workers, it often means adding a second or third job just to stay afloat. One man said, "This is my last night driving in the US before moving to Spain with my family. I don't hate my hometown. I just hate the bills." Sound familiar? Because it could be you, your neighbor, or someone in your own family thinking the same thing. And here's the reality. A pound of beef now costs as much as a pair of discount sneakers. The sneakers last for months. The beef is gone in a day. That's the first reason. The rising cost of living is destroying the American dream. But remember, it's not just about money. Often, a tired mind and heart come before an empty wallet. And that brings us to the next reason people are leaving. A couple in Seattle said, "We were broke, chasing the version of success that society sold us." That's not just their story. It's the story of an entire generation. Everyday life in America feels like a race you can't win. Wake up at 6 a.m., stuck in traffic with your coffee. Deadlines at work pile up. At home, bills wait on the table, and kids need to be driven to extra classes. You're not really living. You're just trying to survive. The result is burnout. It's not listed as a disease, but almost everyone feels it. One American who moved to Costa Rica said, "In the US, I needed medication for anxiety. Here, I don't need it anymore. I wasn't sick. I just wasn't made for life in an American city." How ironic is that? For some people, moving abroad is the cure that America's trillion-dollar healthcare system cannot provide. The more you run, the more tired you get. But you never reach the goal. In many American cities, there is no strong community. Neighbors often don't even know each other's names. Relationships are reduced to quick posts on social media. Americans feel lonely even when they are surrounded by people. Turning on the TV or scrolling online only makes it worse. You see endless crime stories, political fights, natural disasters, and crisis after crisis. It doesn't just give you information. It drains your mental energy. Burnout doesn't care about class. Middle-class families face a daily puzzle. Who picks up the kids? Who pays the bills? Who takes care of healthcare? For retirees, instead of enjoying their golden years, they spend their days calculating medical costs like a math problem. For workers, stress and sleepless nights become permanent. Meanwhile, in a small town in Portugal, someone shared a simple story. This morning, my neighbor and I went digging for potatoes. It's so peaceful that I feel like the luckiest person in the world. That story touches a hidden desire. The desire to live slowly. To breathe. To truly be human. In America, time is money. But in the countryside, time can be as simple as a sweet potato that you can eat. This paradox is why more people want to leave. When society exhausts you both physically and mentally, leaving is not betrayal. Sometimes it is the only way to survive. But burnout is only the tip of the iceberg. There is something that hurts even more. It is losing faith in your own country. A woman in her late 50s said, "I don't want to live the rest of my life like this. My America disappeared in 2015. It may sound like sadness, but it is actually the voice of millions. They feel their country has changed so much that it no longer feels like home. In big cities, you can feel the tension. A simple backyard barbecue can quickly turn into a political fight. At the coffee shop, smiles have been replaced with suspicious looks. People wonder, which side are you on? The country that once celebrated diversity now feels divided. Here is the hard truth. Half of Americans have thought about leaving. Some even worry they will wait too long. And when millions want to go, the door will already be closed. This is what you can call the uncertainty tax. When the future feels unpredictable, people begin to ask themselves, would we be safer somewhere else? This isn't just about money. It's about trust and stability. Middle-class families say, we pay all our taxes, but we still face high risks and little control. Retirees ask themselves, do I really want to spend the rest of my life in uncertainty? And many workers are ready to switch careers if it means moving abroad. A woman in New York said, I don't want to leave in panic. I don't want to stand in a crowd of 1 million people at the airport. This fear is very real. If they don't act now, they might get trapped in an unpredictable country. Think of faith like the electrical system in a house. When it works, you don't even notice it. But when the power goes out in the middle of winter, you suddenly realize how much you depend on it. And if the power keeps going out, you start looking for a backup generator. That is what many Americans are doing. They are preparing passports. They are quietly planning their exit strategy. Not because they hate America, but because they are no longer sure they can trust it tomorrow. This is the truth many people don't want to face. America is losing not only its economic appeal, but also the mental security that once made people proud to stay. So how are Americans leaving? The answer is technology and remote work. This is the new passport. It opens doors that used to be available only to the wealthy or the retired. If there is a new passport today, it's the laptop. It may sound funny, but remote work is now like an invisible visa for the middle class. Look at the numbers. In the first quarter of 2025, Americans buying homes in Spain increased by 57%. These are not the super rich. They are people who work online, get paid in dollars, and spend in euros or cheaper local currency. From an economic view, they are upgrading their lifestyle and lowering their costs, all with just a stable internet connection. And it's not just Spain. A family in Michigan left behind 14 years of work and moved with their 3 kids and their dog to the Netherlands. A woman drove a small U-Haul filled with her pets straight to Mexico to start over. A couple in Seattle quit their 6-figure jobs and moved to Italy for peace of mind. What changed is digital infrastructure. In the past, leaving the US meant quitting your job or retiring. Now, all you need is a laptop and a bank account. You can sit in a coffee shop in Lisbon while sending reports to your company in New York. Earning in dollars and spending in cheaper local currency has become the new formula for stability. Some countries even make it easier. For example, Albania allows Americans to stay for 1 year with just a passport and no complex paperwork. This gives families a chance to test life abroad before making a long-term decision. It's also about diversifying your risks. Just like investing, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. If America feels unstable, spreading your life across more than one country can be a smart choice. For middle-class families, this means affordable schools in Europe, neighborhoods where people know each other, and afternoons spent walking by the sea or in the forest. For retirees, it means living in a small apartment in a warm country with good healthcare, without spending all their savings on hospital bills. For freelancers, it means a mix of small income streams and a simple life with low costs. Everything I share is only for analysis and to make you think. The final choice, whether to stay or leave, must depend on your own situation, needs, and research. Maybe the American dream has not fully disappeared. It has only changed shape. The real question is this: do you still want to chase that dream in America, or somewhere else?